Thank you for having me.
Well, thank you for coming for Mom's Night Out at Roll Mommy. We're very excited to have you here tonight.
It's a great website, and I'm really glad to be part of it. Thank you.
No problem. Well, I want to find out about you.
Okay.
Let's talk about what you were doing before you decided to become a career coach.
Actually, I've been a career coach now for about 10 years, but I started doing it at college. So I was working with a lot of college-age kids, and what's happened over the years is that the transition has become adults. Mm-hmm. And almost all my students, especially evenings or early mornings, ended up being moms. Mm-hmm. So along the way, I switched from career counseling into teaching, back to career counseling, and then I started focusing on dealing with moms. And I think it's because I became a mom. Mm-hmm. And I went through the process myself and watched all my students go through it. My classes at night would turn into, I'd have 25 students, 30 students, and at least 95% of them would all be moms re-entering the workforce due to, divorce, layoffs, the economy. Mm-hmm. So I just really went that way of focusing and helping them. But it's always been a dream of mine to help moms. Mm-hmm. I find it really important because their self-esteem is so low.
Yeah, and I think now, in light of the economy, how hard is it for a mother who has taken time off and now so many more people are out of work?
Right.
What's the kind of advice that you could give to someone about trying to break back in and like now all the competition?
Well, it unfortunately goes back to self-confidence. Moms have such great confidence in their, motherhood skills, what they do at home, being a homemaker, but when they're out of the workforce for whether it's 1 year, 3 years, 5 years, you're seeing that they have such low self-esteem re-entering. And what companies and bosses and CEOs and everybody are saying to me is, it's not that I don't want to hire a mom. I'd actually love to have a mom. They're more productive, they multitask, they give me 110% when they're there. But when they go in the interview, because they're having that low self-confidence, they're not giving the eye contact, they're not giving off the power attitude of like, I'm here and this is what I have to offer you, their shoulders slump, and they come off like that. So then, obviously, it's hard to be hired just because your self-esteem is low. So one of the things I work with moms is to really empower them to know what they do at home, they can bring it into the workforce. Because all the skills, I don't know about you, but as a mom, I didn't think I could multitask until I had a daughter. Now I can do like 7 things at one time, just from having a daughter. My patience level, my productivity, and wanting to be out of the house has turned into, wow, this is great. It becomes, fun, it's socializing, it's my own time. So work becomes a great experience for moms. Mm-hmm. So if we could get their esteem boosted, they would have a much better shot getting a job.
That's interesting. And what about the mom who wants to start her own business? What about, because I know a lot, I know for myself, the mompreneurs, I'm one of them, who says, I had this great idea, and then you go full force and you do it, and then you realize, oh, this costs a lot of money, there's no business plan involved, there's no, what do you advise to someone like that who wants to start a business from scratch?
I think it's great for moms to start. It puts you in control, and we get to have the best of both worlds. And it is very feasible. Almost all my friends who are moms have started a part-time business on the side, even if it's not their full income. But you're right, they go into it and they don't realize the price, the business plan, a business proposal, that you might need marketing, advertising. So one of the best options they have, which is free, is to go to an organization called SCORE, which is a bunch of professionals who are retired but have been in your field, have started their own business, who are successful, and they will give you advice and help you write your business plan, your business proposal, for as long as you need, all complimentary. And most of them are located at your local colleges, whether you're in New York, New Jersey. There's one right here in this library. Well, there you go. You just walk downstairs.
The White Plains Library has SCORE.
And
this is fabulous.
And they go to SCORE and they get all the advice. And then you have the Small Business Association that will also help write a plan, get a loan, or any of the special loans that are available for women, because we are still a minority. And then you could go to them, and they give classes that are $10, $15, very affordable, and along with one-on-one counseling as well for very affordable prices. And the other option for moms is that if you went to college any place, whether it was a community college, if it was Pace, any of the SUNYs, CUNYs, or in New Jersey, you go back. If you were a student there, you can go right into the career counseling office, and they will give you advice, resume skills, they'll even help you rewrite your resume, get a job, or start your own business, again, for free, long if you were a student there. So there's so many options that are free and available or very inexpensive to get ready to start your business and move ahead. The only other thing I always suggest is if you're going to start your own business, you already are a mom, that's a full-time job, it better be something you like, because if you're going to have another job that's hard and you're not enjoying it, it's going to be a hard situation. So, make it a career, not a job. Pick something you love, something you have a passion for, So you're really motivated and you're excited, and that time away from your children is real quality time.
I know, I have the problem of not being able to shut it off.
Yeah, I heard the BlackBerry.
Yeah, the BlackBerry, you know, this morning you're taking the laptop even into the bathroom when I'm getting ready. It's like
that's when you lock the door for private time.
Right, you know, it's tough. It's really tough when you are working from home. You know, it's that there's no such thing as a 5-day work week anymore.
No, and it's in between your kids, so at 9 o'clock at night, you put your kids to sleep.
Exactly.
And then your husband's like, well, what are you doing? You know, why aren't you spending time with me? And it's like, but I got to get this email out and I got to do this. And it's balancing time and also explaining to your family and having discussions. This is what I need to do. You need to understand, even if this is a transition and I was with you, you know, and available 24 hours, 7 days a week, they have to understand and also realize what a great work ethic it shows. You know, if you start asking your kids, wow, you know, what do you want to do when you get older? They start wanting to be like mommy. Oh, I want to do this, what you do, and I want to do that. So even if they're unhappy that you're not home at the moment or not available, deep down they do get, wow, this is great. My mom does this and she's happy, and I want to do that when I get older. You know, so my daughter always gets mad at me that I'll teach classes at night. But then I said to her the other day, what do you want to do? And she's like, I'm going to be a professor like you. So, and then she goes, can I come to college with you? And then she comes, and it gives her a whole outlook on jobs and what she could do and how she can help people and be involved, and it's really great for them as they get older.
That's terrific. And now let's talk about your book.
Okay.
Which is right over there.
Yes, thank you.
Path from Motherhood to Career.
Yes.
So tell us what kind of tips you offer in the book and want to hear all about it.
I wrote the book as a real small, simple guide because I went through a focus group of over 100 moms and said, what do you want? You know, you want to go back to work, but what kind of book do you want to read? And when I was writing it, there wasn't many other books out, and all the other books were about 300-400 pages, and every mom said to me the same thing. I don't have time to read a book I enjoy or watch a movie for 2 hours. I want it to be simple. I want it to be easy. I want it to be, I go through and this is my, you know, advice. Okay, let me, you know, write my resume. Oh, here's a tip. I'm going into my interview. I want it to be able to take it on the road, and 5 minutes before the interview, I could just look up and go, oh yeah, that's how I answer that question. So I made it more of a guide, almost like a workbook that you can take with you, you can use anytime, you can open it and find the page, page 40 interviews. I wanted it to be that simple for the moms. And I think what it does is it gives you a lot of tips to making the decision. Is it the right decision for you? Are you doing it for the right reasons? What is your value system? Gives tips on interviewing, how to talk about your resume, your gap on your resume. Talks about what employers are looking for, what other moms did. It gives sample resume and cover letters for moms, geared for moms. And then it gives you some tips on balance, because when you go back to work, that's the other part. Once you get the job, the first month back for most moms is very overwhelming. There's a lot of mommy guilt. So I step a little into that for about a chapter on, you know, what to expect, what other moms expected, and, you know, how it's okay to go back to work and mommy guilt and all those other issues we all go through with moms and going back to work.
Well, let me ask you this, because I think it's interesting that you had started out where you're coaching students, and then it transitions to moms. In hindsight, I mean, I know as we're growing up, we're told we can be anything we want to be, but in reality, there are certain careers that if you decide you're going to do this, you're going to have to give up a lot.
Yes.
Is that something that you say to your students now, or do you still arm them with you can be anything you want to be, and then you find out the truth on the other side after you've had a child?
Well, you know what, unfortunately, it doesn't mix with my psychology values. I'm a humanistic psychologist, so I believe that you can do whatever you want as much as you want as long as you put the time into it. So I'm really honest by saying, yes, you can do whatever you want, but figure out what you're willing to sacrifice, what your value systems are, what the trade-off is. So if you're a mom and you know you want to spend more time with your kids and money is not the big value, then yes, education might be perfect for you. You're off summers. You might have the same hours, but if your value is to get, you know, a business off the ground and to have that sense of purpose, then you have to just realize what your sacrifices are. I think that as long as they know the truth going in, they can make an educated decision on what they want to do. So yes, I push to do whatever you want because that causes happiness, but I'm pretty honest about what you will have to do in the meanwhile and how it might be overwhelming or stressed out. You might feel the guilt from your family. But, you know, hopefully if you follow a lot of the guidelines of communication and talking to your family, you're honest with yourself and with them, you'll eventually get the support that you need.
Great. All right. Thank you.
Thank you so much.